Greetings and welcome to Our Schools Monthly, a video program sponsored by the Port Huron Area School District designed to keep you informed of what's happening in our schools. We're beginning our program today at the Port Huron Northern Performing Arts Center. So if you can follow around with me a little bit as I move through here, you can see that this is a beautiful facility and we're very happy to have the opportunity to be here. All kinds of events are taking place in this facility thanks to the contribution of our community. We really appreciate the opportunity to have this venue for the fine arts. Today we're going to use it for something different. We have a small group of students here who are doing a very large thing in our school district, and that is working with Fun Fitness with elementary students, working with a group called SHA, which is Students for a Healthy America, and also some student volunteers who are involved in Tattoo, or Teens Against Tobacco Use. But we're going to start with Fun Fitness, and that's why we have these three younger students in the front here, and I believe that you're from which school? Keewatin? Okay, so would you say your name, please?
My name's Shakir Saman.
Alex Shell.
Andrew Cansfield.
Okay, these are the elementary students who are involved in the Fun Fitness, and then we have some high school students from Northern, and I'm going to give them the mic so they know what I'm going to do and they can pass it along and say who they are.
I'm Sarah Damashki.
I'm Rachna Reddy.
I'm Christina Zinkel.
Marley Borovich.
And I'm Raheem Merchant.
Okay. So these individuals have been working in these programs, but the first program we're going to talk about is Fun Fitness. Could you guys in the front here tell me a little bit about what Fun Fitness means to you? What is Fun Fitness?
Well, it's kind of a program that some of the volunteers at our school put together to get us active, basically.
Okay. Now, when you say active, you're talking physically active, because I think I understand that this is a concern about juvenile diabetes and some other health concerns that can emerge if kids aren't physically active enough and eating a healthy lifestyle. Would you think that was a true thing to say?
Yes.
Would you like to add anything else to that?
No.
No. Okay. So what does it mean for you then? What do you do as part of a healthy lifestyle? Because you look like you're pretty athletic and pretty thin.
Well, when we're at school doing the Fun Fitness, we run, walk, we hop, and we jump up and pretend we're shooting a basketball.
Excellent. So there's a lot of physical activity going on, because when you are really involved as a student, there's more mental activity going on, isn't there? So you're basically sitting in your seat and listening to the teacher and working on assignments and studying things and reading books. This is the opportunity to get your body moving as well, and not just your mind. Right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there are a lot of things that kids do that are a little bit more sedentary or inactive. Would you like to comment on some of the things you like to do that aren't athletic?
Play kind of inside, just play video games sometimes.
You look like you might be a computer guy. Do you like to work on a computer?
Sometimes, not a lot.
Okay, but that's not terribly active, is it? So what do you like to do for physical activity?
Go outside, play basketball, play soccer, mainly just sports.
Okay. And how about you? What do you like to do for physical activity?
I like to play tennis and basketball, sometimes a little like football.
Okay, now this is just a yes or no question. When you got involved in the fitness program here that we're talking about, did you find that it was kind of tiring a little bit, that after you did all these activities you could be a little tired?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Okay. And I think probably what you discovered was you had all that pent-up energy from studying and sitting in your chair and thinking all day long. So let's go back to some of the high school students who are involved in this program. This is not necessarily an extension of Students for a Healthy America, but it's tied to some of you who are members of that group. So you have two things that you could talk about. The Fun Fitness program, that you go down to the elementary schools to work with the kids, is that right? Do I have that correct? How many of you do that? Do you all do that? No? Okay, but you do and you do? Okay, I'm going to give you the microphone. Tell us a little bit about what you do when you go to the schools and which schools you go to and why you think it's an important program.
Well, I went to Lakeport Elementary, and what we would do is we see all the kids line up and we have them walk around in a circle, and then we have them do different activities such as hopping on one foot or skipping or pretending they're shooting a basketball or doing the tennis shuffle. We had a list of different things they could do, and we try to keep them moving the whole time.
Do any of them work up a sweat while they're doing this?
A few of them do.
Uh-huh.
Some of them do start sweating.
And then we go, whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually at Kimball Elementary School, and basically it's just to get kids moving, get kids active, instead of sitting inside all day. And it's really just a bunch of basic activities, again, shooting basketball, stuff like that.
Now, when you say basic activities, though, you do make it a point to show them things they can do as individuals and not just as a group, because that's part of the problem, I think, sometimes at school. You have a bunch of kids together on the playground, and they go outside for recess. But kids go home in our society, and sometimes there aren't neighborhood kids to play with, there are no brothers and sisters, or maybe they're older brothers and sisters, and so they watch television, they work on the computer, they play video games, they read comic books, maybe they have a hobby or something that they do that's not active. What kind of things do they do that they actually could go home and have fun doing by themselves?
A lot of times we encourage them to, instead of just sitting around running is a good one because you can do that by yourself. If you have a basketball hoop around, just go shoot some hoops by yourself. That's also fun. Just anything to get kids active,
Okay, now I think it's interesting that you went to Kimball because you're a student here at Northern, and Kimball is the farthest diagonal school from here that you can possibly reach. It's
Yep.
probably the greatest distance. What did you think about going out to the country where Kimball is located? Have you ever been there before?
Actually, no. The first time I did get lost going there.
Uh-huh.
I was a little late. It was embarrassing.
It's
but
like compared to Northern, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's
Oh,
the
I know,
Pine
I
Tree farm across the street. Okay.
So I don't know. It was still a good experience, though. I mean, it was definitely worth it. I mean, even it was a 20-minute drive or so, but it was still a good idea.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you folks something that I learned from my elementary PE teachers that I never knew, that skipping is not something that kids can do without learning. Walking they learn to do, running they learn to do, but it comes naturally. But people don't know automatically how to skip. They have to be taught how to do that. Even though we think that they just pick it up, what they do is learn it from other people. Did you know that? So see, now you can demonstrate skipping for them as well. Okay, so that is our information about Fun Fitness, but I also understand that many of you are involved in the Students for a Healthy America. And is there another element of this? I alluded before we move away from Fun Fitness. Is there another element about eating and dietary ideas?
We don't directly teach about eating and dietary stuff in Fun Fitness, but we do that in SHA.
It is just more a matter of fitness, physical activity. Okay, so tell me a little bit about SHA. And you're a member of SHA? Okay, I'll give you the microphone and you can tell us. Take it.
What we do is we go to present to 6th grade classrooms usually, or 7th grade, and we have a slideshow that we show them, and it's just about eating healthy and being active, and they can ask a lot of questions.
This is a slideshow you put together, okay? And here you address the concerns about juvenile diabetes and other health concerns that can come from an inactive lifestyle?
Yeah.
Okay, and from poor eating habits?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of things might you tell them?
Just kind of what foods that they should be eating more of, and what things to avoid, and what can happen when you get diabetes, just a little bit about the disease itself. And afterwards, I've had a lot of classes where they always ask a lot of questions, and I think that's really good because I think they feel really comfortable talking to us because we're closer in age to them.
Okay. Are you also a SHA member?
No, I'm part of TATS.
Okay, but you are? Okay. Let's hand the microphone back. When she mentioned telling them some of the good things to eat, what would be some of those things?
We just encourage them to eat more fruits and vegetables, less packaged snacks or fast food, just things that are better for them, and, just to watch their portion sizes and get, the food pyramid into their everyday diet.
And then get more exercise as well. What do you think, and I'm just wondering, because I saw the video recently about juvenile diabetes. So what do you think has been the greatest detriment for young people in consumption? What is the one thing that has changed a great deal about our health status in the United States?
It's definitely gone downhill.
What are the things that have made it go downhill?
Just like your parents and just children in general now, like we have in our slideshow, we have a chart that shows like a chart from when our parents were young. It was, you know, a very low percent, and then in the 2000 time now, when like our brothers and sisters are being born or stuff like that, it's the whole country is just, I mean, it's completely gone downhill in
Part of it is our
child
culture.
obesity.
The culture, the things that we do, et
Yeah,
cetera.
definitely.
You know, when I was your age, I didn't have a television. We had transistor radios, and we didn't have computers. So there you go. Would you take the microphone? Let me ask you the same question. What are the components that have affected us so much, made a huge change in our society? I have a particular answer in mind. I'm hoping. you'll
I'm
pick up
thinking
on
it's technology, because a lot of the time we stay inside and we watch TV and we play on computers, video games, and that really draws people in instead of wanting to play outside, you know? And that takes away a lot of the physical activity.
I have a feeling cell phones are going to be another huge part of that, because I see more and more people sitting around talking on their cell phones. You can't be physically active,
And be
running and
on cell-
jumping and
I know, I know.
That's kind of hard. And would either of you like to add something that's dietary
Yeah.
to this, the change? Go ahead.
Actually,
Take the
I also-
microphone. It's easier.
I also think a really important thing that's just increased obesity is portion sizes. Now, even when you go, any type of food you get, even at restaurants or things that are packaged, are a lot bigger. And I think kids just start eating things like a lot in larger amounts from when they're young. I just think that that's okay, and that's what they should be eating. But
And do you have anything else to add?
I think that a lot more people are eating fast foods a lot more often than they should be, and that people are consuming a lot more carbohydrates than they should be doing.
I'll tell you what
on a
my
daily
answer
basis.
is, and that's soda, pop. And the reason that I say that is because my son had more problems with his dental work because he started sipping pop. And it's easy to go buy a big gulp and just carry that dumb thing around all day long. And you've got maybe, you know, 32 ounces of Mountain Dew, and you sip it all day long, and it gets in your teeth, and it's also full of sugar. So that's changed a lot. That's a lot of empty calories that kids are consuming, rather than milk or water, which is good for the body. You've got some calcium in the milk, and you've got just the flushing activity of the water. So that's what I was kind of shooting at in the foods, the fast foods, and the portion sizes. What's interesting is that I always thought it was just the older people that would order a meal and share it, you know, grandpa and grandma, or that they would order something and then eat half of it and take the other half home. But my wife and I have started doing that because we're trying to become healthier individuals as well. And you're right, portion sizes are huge no matter where you go. And it's filling enough just to eat half of what you get and put the other half aside. Well, thank you very much for sharing with us today about SHA, Students for a Healthy America, and going to the middle schools with that program and sharing with them. And thank you kids for being with us today to talk about fun fitness. We have one more thing to discuss. And would you mind just letting you come on down here for a minute? And while you're doing that, and you're going to stand here for a minute, but I'm going to turn you around because I almost forgot this, to identify that we have some sponsors of the programs that we're talking about. Cardiology Associates, the Port Huron Heart Center of Port Huron PC, and Citizens First, the Savings Bank, have lent their support financially to us so that we can have this program and provide the costs involved of maybe transportation or the video, et cetera, and the instructional moment for you kids. You are my last person, and you're the only representative of a group called Tattoo. Before people at home get upset about tattoos, we need to tell them it's TATU, Teens Against Tobacco Use. Tell me about that.
We actually go to elementary schools and we talk about the dangers of smoking and how it's hazardous for your health. And we go throughout the district and talk to the kids. And we also set up booths here at school to get the word out.
Would you smoke?
Never.
Good answer. You better say that. And how do the kids receive you? What do they think?
They actually are really receptive to the information that we give. We go and we have activities that we do with them where we interact with them. We ask them reasons why people smoke, reasons why they shouldn't smoke, and the kids really like come up with a bunch of different ideas. We ask them how they can say no to smoking, and they love it. They brainstorm and they have a lot of fun with it.
I won't ask you to put yourselves on the spot and say, has anybody here tried smoking before? But I will tell you that I did as a teenager. You know, that was my generation. It was probably even worse then at that time. And of course, you know, a bunch of boys, we get together after school or whatever, and I tried. And I coughed and I hacked and it was just awful. And I thought to myself, why would anybody ever do this? So what are the answers? Why do people take up smoking?
Most people do it because their parents did it or their friends convinced them to do it, that they feel like they should. But most of the time people do realize that they don't like it, or the kids we're trying to cut down the number of kids that start smoking at a younger age, because most kids that start smoking younger, they start to do it more as adults because they did it when they were younger.
And see, in my generation, it was on television, it was in movies, it was the ads where all the cool people were smoking. So I think that's kind of faded just a little bit, but you still have a lot of peer pressure, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So who do you share this information with? Is it middle school or elementary?
Elementary, we go to the 4th grade classes throughout the district.
And which schools have you visited?
We visited a lot. We try to hit all of them. We've gone to, I think, 10 elementary schools.
Okay.
So we've tried to hit all of the ones that we could.
And do you share this message as an assembly or in classrooms?
Well, we go to individual 4th grade classes, so we go to like 2 or 3 classes at each school. So.
And I think that's a really great contribution, because I think kids in lower schools can look at kids in high school and say, wow, that's cool. You know, I can take that message for them. They may hear it from adults in the world, but it's just an adult message then. But when they're receiving the information from kids that they would like to be like, you know, they hope to grow up and be high school students and you're cool kids and all that, then it gives more support to the philosophy, to the statement that you're sharing. So do you feel that you made a difference?
Yeah, the kids are very receptive to us. They always look up to us and take the message to heart, I think.
Good. And hopefully they pass it along to their peers as well while they're with them at school. And it doesn't hurt to tell them to be physically active while they're at it, right? Don't smoke and get out and play instead, right? Thank you very much for being with us. I'd like to thank all of you for your concerted efforts on behalf of the students throughout the school district. Thank you very much for working in such wonderful programs. Now, I understand with Shaw, and watch me mess these names up, who were the 2 students who helped to found that? I want to say Rahul Reddy and Andrew Malali. Okay, I did keep those 2 names in mind. And there were some support parents involved, or support individuals. Dr. Sushma Reddy, I believe, and was there another?
I believe, I'm not sure who the other one was. But
Okay.
yeah.
May have been, we don't want to slight anybody, but we're trying to pull that information out. And how about tattoo? Do you have any individuals that are helping to sponsor you?
I'm not sure. We have a great advisor who runs the whole show, but I'm not sure who founded it.
Okay, and your great advisor is Gordy Farnsworth here at Port Huron Northern, who is standing right over there, but would prefer to let the kids be on camera. And so I appreciate his support for your program, and we'd like to thank him. Thank you, Mr. Farnsworth, and thank all of you for all that you do on behalf of the students in our school district. Wish you all the best and great success, and we're taping this on Maundy Thursday, the day before the break. Have a great spring break. Enjoy your time, okay? And don't go away. We'll be right back with another segment of Our Schools Monthly. In this segment of the show, we're going to talk to some students from Port Huron High School who are members of the Drama Club. And if you've been paying attention to what's happening in Port Huron, you'll know that these students were very active in their recent production of Peter Pan. We're sorry we couldn't bring this to you beforehand so that you'd know about attending the show, but with all the advertising, we hope you got your tickets and you saw something very special in our new Performing Arts Center. Hi, welcome to you all.
Hi.
Happy to have you here. I'm going to go right down the line, this way, this way, this way, and this way, and ask you to tell us who you are and what part you play in Peter Pan.
All right, I'm Ashley Recker, and I'm playing Peter Pan.
Okay.
And my name is Erin Dwyer, and I play the part of
Wendy.
Okay.
I'm Tyler Osborne, and I play Mr. Smee.
Okay.
I'm Luke Sheldon, and I play the part of Captain Hook.
Okay, now I'm going to come back to you individually. You are playing the part of Peter Pan.
Yes.
So tell me about that. What's it like to be Peter Pan?
It's really fun, because I just get to be completely like a little kid. I can do pretty much anything. There's not really any restraints on what I can do. I just get to run around the whole time and play and have fun.
And why did you choose to try out for this part?
Well, I really wanted to fly. That was one thing, and it just seemed like it'd be a lot of fun.
Now, we need to mention to our audience, if they didn't see the show, that when you say I really wanted to fly, you really do fly.
I really do fly.
You really do fly. We have the harnesses from a company from California, I believe, from out of state anyway.
Yeah.
It's a professional company, and they've come here and they've trained people to allow you to take off.
Yeah.
And so do the Darling children, I believe.
Yeah.
And so, Wendy, how is it to fly for you?
It is amazing. It's the most unusual feeling at first, but now that we're used to it, it's so comfortable, and it's just going to be weird walking on land for a while.
You just kind of want to fly to your classes and
Exactly.
hover above all the kids in the hall. How high up do you actually go, do you think?
I go at the most. In the first scene, I only go maybe about 6 or 7 feet
That's where
in the
you're
air.
getting the fairy dust feel and
Yes.
think good thoughts and here you go. Right.
Yeah, and then in my first scene in Neverland, when I first meet the boys, I go just as high as Peter, which is as high as the harness can reach.
What do you think, 15 feet, 20 feet?
15 or 20.
Pretty high.
The floor,
it's high.
the floor looks pretty far down.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And poor Mr. Smead, you don't fly.
No,
Do you get to do anything fun?
I don't get to fight, sing, fly.
You're typecast.
Yeah.
No, let's go back. I'll retract that.
Thank you.
So what does Mr. Smead do? Because quite honestly, as I mentioned to you earlier, Mr. Smead is one of the characters that might be the harder one to remember because he's not as well known as Hook or Wendy or Peter. So who is Mr. Smead?
He's Captain Hook's kind of assistant guy. He follows him everywhere. I think he kind of loves Captain Hook on the inside because he just does everything for Hook.
Okay. And does he have a face-off scene with the crocodile or the alligator toward the end? Do you play an important role in that somehow?
No, I'm more like a kind of a small comic relief.
Comic relief, yeah, I think so too, yeah. And we don't want to confuse people with Smead in the play versus Smead in the movie Hook, because there is a difference.
Yep.
Okay, and Captain Hook. You don't look dastardly enough, you know that? You look like a pretty nice guy, but what happens with your costume? Do they make you look more like Hook?
Yeah, I get a Jerry curl.
Do you?
Yeah,
okay.
it's pretty sweet.
Is it long?
Yeah.
You have a wig?
It's really long. It goes down past my shoulders. And
ruffled cuffs and ruffled shirt?
I got everything very piratey, and I've got a really sweet coat and get the pirate hat and everything.
And I believe you have a hook somewhere.
I've got a hook on my right hand.
Okay.
And sword in my left. And
okay.
I'm ready
and
to
you're
go.
ready to fight, and you're ready to do all those things. Okay. Well, let me just ask you, how long have you been in rehearsal? When were the auditions, and how much have you been working on this?
Auditions were beginning of February, I believe.
Oh, so it's not as long ago as I thought.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I thought it was back in November sometime.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no.
Because that's usually the case. They usually
Yeah.
will cast something quite a while in advance and let you have personal time to work on it. So this is really more like a professional
Yeah, we
production
started right away.
limited time zone. Okay.
Yep.
And so you all found out that you were who you were, and it was Yahoo, and here we go.
It was the best feeling in the
Was
world.
it? It's like, and did you want to be Wendy? Is that who you tried out for?
Well, actually, I tried out for either Wendy or Peter Pan, and when I found out she was Peter Pan, I knew no one could do it better, so I was excited to be next to her.
Is there a song in the play about crowing like a rooster? I want to crow.
I got a crow.
Okay, I got a crow. Okay. See, I love the play, but it's been a while since I've seen it. So I'm, as I mentioned, I'm crossing over the cartoons and the Hook movie and Neverland, Finding Neverland, and all those things. So yeah, there are some good numbers in there, and you also have to find your shadow, I believe.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
My shadow, I lose it, so I
And
have
you try to
find it.
reattach it with
soap.
With soap.
With
okay.
soap.
How have they done? Can I ask trade secrets? How do they do the shadow?
It's just a little piece of like black kind of see-through-ish fabric, and they're also doing lighting tricks to have it like on the wall behind me. But
Right. Okay. And when we're talking costumes, Mr. Smead, if I remember, you probably have a striped shirt.
You would think so, because that's
But
what he's
not?
always had.
Yep.
We did something clever.
Oh, okay.
As Luke mentioned, he gets a really nifty coat for Captain Hook.
Oh, okay, yep.
And since Mr. Smead just wants to be everything like Captain Hook, it kind of looks like he took whatever material he could find and sewed them all together to make a coat like Hook's.
Okay.
And that's basically what I wear.
So Mr. Smead is kind of a brown noser, if you will.
Yeah.
You're trying to win over Captain Hook's attention and affection, so to speak.
Yep.
Right-hand guy, but always trying to please the captain.
Yeah, he's like a puppy.
Okay. Do you wear a hat? That's an easy question. There should be a yes or no, or do you maybe sometimes,
well,
but not?
sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
All right. And Captain Hook, how hot is the wig?
The wig's not so bad. It's the rest of the costume, really. Yeah.
But just because it's in layers.
Yeah.
But I understand when we talked earlier, I asked, how hot are the costumes? You gave me an unusual answer, but in your case, there's a reason why you are warm, and I guess you would be too, because of flying, that there's something that's required when you're flying.
yeah, we have to wear padding underneath the harness because it digs in pretty bad. So I have to wear a couple extra pairs of shorts underneath my harness.
Okay. And then do you wear the harness through the whole play, or can you take it off
No,
once?
I have to wear it the whole play.
Oh, there's no time to go out and take it off. That's got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And Wendy, you too?
Well, sort of. I wear it for the first half of the show, and then I do not fly anymore, so I have thankfully, the opportunity to take it off during intermission.
Do you fly later in the show then?
Yes.
Oh, during a fight scene, maybe?
Yep.
Okay, I was trying to remember where that might have occurred then. Okay, so when you're talking about what you're wearing then, we're also talking about theater lights. We have theater lights here for our TV taping, and we can already feel how warm they are as you're wearing your hoodies and your t-shirts. Still nothing probably compared to layers of clothing plus the harness, plus the clothing on top of the harness.
Right.
Are the harnesses really visible?
They are visible, but we actually are wearing clothing over top of it. Like she's wearing a leotard that you can't see through
No,
the harness.
what I meant was to the audience. Is there the opportunity to suspend the disbelief when you go up? It doesn't necessarily look like there's this big harness. So you have a costume over the harness that makes it not necessarily noticeable.
Right. You can't either. You definitely can't see the harness through any of our costumes. You might be able to see the string coming up, but I think you'll be paying attention to us flying that you won't even notice it's there.
Well, I'm sure that the children who come to see the program will be totally caught off guard.
Oh, of course.
And matter of fact, I have to tell you, I was talking to somebody locally who, just this morning, who said they were going to go see the play, and I said, well, you know, the actors really do fly. And she said, oh, I know, Peter Pan flies. And I said, no, they really do fly. And she said, you're kidding. So I think we have an audience in Port Huron that's going to be totally blown away by the fact that you are actually doing the flying as Civic Theater did a while back. So that'll be cool. The hard part will be letting this go.
It's every year the drama club, especially our musicals, we try to top one after the other, and we're kind of worried. We're not sure what's going to happen next year.
No, I have no idea. Maybe you'll do the one with the plant. I can't think of the name of it. Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, right.
You know, and that would be interesting to do as well.
I think we're talking about Beauty and the Beast, but unfortunately Ashley and I won't be here because we're graduating this year.
Oh, you could be Beauty and the Beast, but I'll let you fight over who's who. And it would be a hard one to catch. See, that's a comment that you two boys would have made, wouldn't you? Okay, so let me just go back to the performances. Unfortunately for our viewing audience, this show will be aired in May, so it's after the fact. But you will do 3 evening performances on Friday and Saturday, the 28th and 29th of April, and then Sunday afternoon, the 30th of April, at 2 o'clock. But then you have a matinee on Thursday and Friday also, and then a matinee the next Friday, which would be May 5th.
I think
May 5th?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have 6 programs out of this in all, with a time delay. Who's coming to see 6 programs?
Hopefully a lot of people.
Well, let's go to the matinees, because you know the answer to that.
Yeah,
right?
that we're having elementary kids and I think middle school also.
Some classes at the high school are coming to see it too.
Some high school kids.
Yeah, I believe on Friday the performing arts class at PH is also coming to view the shows because we have done the same to them and we support each other through that. So.
But it is not unlikely that you're going to have a sellout crowd for the matinees, because this is a wonderful opportunity for children, littler kids, especially the elementary kids, to be fascinated by a good story, but an excellent visual treat when you start flying. You know?
It all looks really cool. Even the sets look really
And it should. Cool. I heard you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I heard you had some really large structures. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Okay, so then we want to make sure that our advertising has been effective. Let's hope we have a sellout crowd for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, they've already sold out a bunch of the matinees.
Yeah. Matinees I'm not worried about because of the schools, but the evening performances, I hope you had a good turnout when this is all said and done. Let's go back to the sets. We talked about costuming, we talked about the harnesses, we talked about the differences in the play. Tell me a little bit about the sets, because I think we're going to have a little bit of video footage that we can air that has been airing, I hope, while we've been talking. Go ahead, Mr. Smead. Tell me about some of the things that you're impressed by.
Well, I couldn't really picture what the set would look like, because all I'd seen beforehand was like the cartoon and Hook and stuff. And then they started building it, and I was there when we moved it, and it's big. It's big and it's very heavy.
What are some of the pieces?
The main thing throughout the whole play is a backdrop. It's a bunch of rocks and stuff, and like there's a slide on one part and there's stairs, and then it's really neat. Kind of melts away into a pirate ship.
Oh, that's cool.
Up top, and that's where it is for the end of the play.
Kind of like the. I told you you have those moments where you just go brain dead, but the. Les Miserables, where the pile of junk becomes the the barricade kind of a thing, where it flips. So you have something that changes on stage into something else. And I think, if I remember correctly, we've got a bedroom scene in the Darling household where the 3 children are there only 2 brothers?
There's 2 brothers and Wendy.
And Wendy, okay. So you've got your beds and there's a dog. who comes in as well.
There's also the maid Liza, too, also gets to
Okay.
come with us to Neverland.
So you okay, I didn't realize that. I didn't remember that.
A lot of people don't remember
So
her
she
character.
flies too?
She doesn't get to fly. You don't see her, but you imagine that she is flying with us because
Okay.
she ends in Neverland with us.
Oh, okay,
So.
all right. But you are the ones. Is there real fairy dust that we're going to see?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't get it in your eyes. You know? But so then that takes care of the bedroom, and then you're in Neverland. And so there are Indians,
Yes.
and there are pirates. Are there any other characters that I've neglected? The Lost Boys.
Lost Boys, yeah.
Any other groups? Any other?
There's like some animals that live on the island.
Okay.
There's an ostrich and a kangaroo and a crocodile.
Okay. And we
Yes.
talked about I Got a Crow, but isn't there a song, I Won't Grow Up?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just
yes.
want to be a kid. Do you guys participate in that at all?
Nope,
I
just
do.
these guys.
You don't sing at all?
No,
I do.
We do some stuff, but it's nothing that people would really.
You have
remember.
what's known as shtick.
Yeah, we
Right.
like the only songs we sing are talking about the dastardly deeds that we're
He comes
about
up
to
with
do.
good plans, but they're
Yeah.
in song form.
The way that Hook comes up with his plans is he has his pirates inspire him by playing music, and then he thinks up these
They're good
plans to
plans.
kill all the boys.
Yeah. Oh, what a terrible thought. Captain Hook.
gonna
How
be-
did you lose your hand?
Peter Pan cut it off and threw it to a crack.
Really?
Yeah, and
Were you holding a clock at the time?
no, it just the crocodile happened to swallow the clock after eating my hand. And that's how I know that the crocodile's are around. Is
Okay.
I hear the
'Cause you can hear
ticking.
him tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah.
You go a little bonkers when that comes?
I do. I faint. And
He does.
And Smead, do you help him out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Help.
And Wendy, do you have a romantic interest in Smead?
No, unfortunately, I have a romantic interest with Peter.
Ah, okay.
The entire time that got pretty awkward after a while because
Yeah.
Peter's played by a girl.
A girl, yes.
So it took a while
but
to
let's
get
say
used to.
in true professional theatrical style, Peter Pan is played by a girl.
Yes.
It has usually been that way. And I don't know why it started that way, but maybe it's the range of songs, or maybe it's because of the flying, or maybe it's because Peter Pan is kind of a sprite, and so he's not, real strong, muscular kind of, wrestling kind of a guy. So it lends itself to that character. So what do you do with your hair?
I have a wig.
Do you?
Yep.
Are you blonde?
No, it's a reddish brownish
Okay.
color. So
Okay. Parted or curly or what?
it's kind of spiked up. It's
Okay.
pretty cool looking.
All right.
So
She was told yesterday, one of our friends was sitting in the back row watching a little bit. She was actually told, her friend actually thought she cut her hair for the show.
Oh.
She went up just like, you actually cut
Dedicated
your hair?
actress, but no, not quite. Not. No. Okay, so when we talk about Peter Pan, has this been a good experience for you?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Since it's our senior year and it's the best way to go out, I wouldn't think of it any other way.
Yeah.
So.
And will you keep flying with you all the rest of your days?
yes, definitely.
What are you going to tell your children someday? When you get married down the road, do you think they'll believe you that mommy could fly
I'll have pictures.
in
so
high school?
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be really great. And what about you two guys?
I'm not going to show my children any pictures.
But you said you're new. You told me at the beginning that you were new to the school.
To the
this
school.
before we came on air.
Yeah.
So you're a first-year Port Huron High student this year, but you're a junior.
right,
Where'd you come from?
I attended Northern.
Oh, okay.
I was at Port Huron Northern, and I
Okay.
did school of choice for the drama program.
Oh,
actually.
okay, great. And you are a junior also,
Yep.
and you've been here for all 3 years?
All of them.
Have you been in drama club all 3 years?
No, I think it's only my second one that I've done.
Okay, and how about you?
I've done every single play since my freshman year. So
I'll have to come back after we're off and ask you about a couple of ones. And how about you?
I almost did that. I was in cross country my freshman year, so I missed one show. But after that, I was hooked, and I couldn't do anything else.
Hooked, I get it, little pun. And speaking of hooked, when you were in the plays at Port Huron Northern, I know they have a drama program there as well, but you just wanted to come here and have a different perspective?
Yeah, I'd heard how professional that this drama program was, and last year I actually was the lead in Northerns, and when I
was the
came,
play?
How to Succeed in Business.
Oh, I
what
do.
we were
Okay,
trying.
yep, I do remember. I did see that. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I came over here, and it was a good switch for me, both in the environment of the school, the people, everything.
Well, we certainly don't mean to slight Northern's program
Oh,
because
no,
they do
no.
an excellent job. I saw Hello Dolly this fall. Really enjoyed it. I played Cornelius and Vandergelder at different times, not in the same production, but I was Vandergelder twice and Cornelius once. Talk about casting weird, But, so, I was really taken with their performances. I've never been in Peter Pan, so I can't make any connection with that. And Obviously, I ain't going to fly. But I want to wish you all the best. I hope the production is wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and my apologies to our home audience that we had to do this interview after the fact and air it after the fact, but we hope that a number of people have had a chance to see the show, and I appreciate your coming here so that they can see what wonderful students you are, and I wish you all the best with the production and with the seniors who are going on and continued involvement with you in the drama program next year. I hope it's a great experience for all of you. Good luck in everything that you do. Thanks for being with me. We hope you've enjoyed our interview with members of Peter Pan. Hope you had a chance to go and see the show, and if not, too bad for you, but every year there's another production, and as Aaron pointed out, every year they try to top themselves, so let's see what next year brings. Thanks for tuning in, and don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hurricanes, tsunamis, wars, and earthquakes. Stories of disaster that dominate the news. But what happens after the headlines fade? I'm Lou Rawls, and I'm proud to be working with an organization that continues to help people long after the headlines fade. Church World Service helps people rebuild, recover, and put their lives back together. You can provide help and hope to people in need. Please give generously to Church World Service today.
That's our program for today. We hope you've enjoyed learning more about what our students are doing in the Port Huron Area School District. We also hope you had an opportunity to see Peter Pan and to come to many of the concerts and activities that will take place in the month of May and throughout the rest of this school year. We appreciate your viewing audience, and we invite you to join us here on CPHS 6 for this and other programs spotlighting what's happening in our school district. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.